sustainable security, protect regional peace and security, and silence the guns in the Horn of Africa. I myself am ready to provide mediation efforts for the peaceful settlement of disputes based on the will of countries in this region.
Working in tandem with our partners on the priority, policies and strategies defined by the region that, among other things, requires addressing trust deficit by taking confidence-building measures and mending our differences in order to spare the perennials from unwarranted external interference and undue pressure. This is not something impossible. It can be done and it should be done with unity and determination.
Well, let's get more on this now from Abdi Aynte, who joins me from Nairobi. He is a former Somali minister and the founder of the Heritage Institute. Abdi, what do you think is behind this shift in policy by China? Is this an opportunity for China to reposition itself as it deepens its influence and expands its investments in Africa?
Yeah, precisely that. I think China is motivated by the dual interest of geostrategic interests in the region, like all the other big powers, US, EU, UK, even Turkey and Gulf countries are quite active here in the Horn of Africa. And China feels that it should not be left out of that competition, great power competition in the Horn of Africa. I think the second element is the investments it has. China probably has more infrastructure investments in the Horn of Africa than any of the major powers. And it's growing quite rapidly. And so it has every interest to try and protect those investments and, in fact, promote them and grow them in countries where alliances with West are still quite strong.
And given all of that, how much influence does China have to mediate a peace deal in the Horn of Africa? Do you think that it can be more successful than, say, the US or other Western countries that have tried?
Oh, well, I think the problems of the Horn of Africa are far more complex than anyone can imagine. And China would certainly struggle like any other country that has attempted to mediate conflict in the Horn of Africa. And the other element to this is that China does not necessarily have the sort of the deeper understanding that some of the other countries like the US bring to the Horn of Africa, but it does have a substantial leverage in comparison to other countries. And so, time will tell, but I do think that this is less about an attempt to mediate, but more about expansion of influence and leverage in the Horn of Africa.
Eritrea is skipping the meeting. What do you make of that? And is that a setback for China that it's not taking part in this peace conference?
I mean, Eritrea has been a sort of a unique country in the Horn of Africa. It has been isolated for the better part of the last 20 years. It hasn't really made strong inroads with either China or the West. And so I'm not really surprised that they did not show up, because they certainly feel that they, cannot necessarily gain from these Chinese attempts. I think China has greater influence in Ethiopia, in Kenya, and some of the and in Djibouti, where it now has a military base. But it's still far less influential than the U.S. In all of these countries and in the region as a whole.
All right, we'll leave it there for now. Abdi Aynte joining us from Nairobi. Thank you.